Welcome to RAM Training. I'm Grant McKenzie from CJN Technologies, and I'm going to show you how to lay out the reports that you will produce using the RAMM Report Writer. You lay out your report in the design surface, and I'll begin by showing you a report I've created. First, notice the report bands. These determine how your report output will be structured. You use the report bands to divide the report into logical sections. These bands also determine how the report controls, such as labels and fields, will be rendered. The top margin band is for text, graphics or other controls that you want to appear in this space at the top of every page in the report. You might use this for the name of the report, or perhaps you might leave it empty. Bottom margin band is the space at the bottom of the page on every page of the report. Similarly, you could put information like page numbers, company logos, those sorts of things in the bottom margin band, or you could just leave it empty. The report header is for the information that you want to be at the top of the report, so that might actually be a better place for the name which we have chosen for this report. Controls such as labels and graphics in the report header are displayed once only at the top of the report. Similarly, controls in the report footer, and as we don't have one here, I'll just pop in a report footer. Controls in the report footer are displayed once only at the end of the report. Information and controls in the page header band are displayed on every page of the report, and this could be a good place for your column headers. However, if your report data is grouped, you're probably better to use a group header so that each individual group has its own heading. Similarly, controls in the page footer are displayed at the end of each page of the report, but if you're grouping the report data, it may be more useful to use a group footer as we have here. The detail report bands contain the body of the report. You'll see that this report, which I've already created, has two detail report bands, one for summary and one for road name. You'll remember that we created a summary table in the Select Your Database video. This first detail report, the summary detail report, is directly related to that table, and you'll see that these fields have been dragged and dropped from that table. The second detail report, which is the road name detail report, is the section where you have a listing of each individual road within the database and its annual NASRA average and length of reseal for each year on which there has actually been some resealing. This is what the report writer design surface looks like when you first open an empty report, and you'll notice that there's only one detail band and it's empty. Let's insert a report header and drag and drop a label into it to name the report. We use the Smart tag to access the text to edit it. We can use the Windows menus to alter the text if we wish. Let's insert a detail report band, and we're going to need a group header, so let's add one of those as well. This first section of the report will list the NASRA average for the network by year and show the total length of reseals for the year. We can then see whether there is a correlation between the amount of resealing and whether this has affected the NASRA average. To do this, we use the fields from the summary table which we created in the Select Your Dataset video. So we'll drag and drop them into the band. Financial year, NASRA average, carway length. As you can see, I've dragged and dropped three labels into the group header band, and also you'll notice in the detail band I've tidied up the positioning of the three fields which we dragged and dropped. You can tell that the three fields in the group header band and in the report header band are all text fields because they lack the small icon which represents a database, which you can see in the three fields in the detail band. You can see that the three fields in the detail band are bound fields. And by that I mean they're bound to data, so you can see the data to which they're bound by using the smart tag. Obviously in this one it's the financial year field or column from the summary table that we created. Okay, we've got our report header. We've got a group header for the information which we're presenting, and the information we're presenting is in the detail band. So let's see if this report has been set up properly and if it works. To do that, we press the preview button. And here we go. We've got our report header, we've got our group header, and we've got our information underneath it. Now you'll notice that there's no NASRA average until we get to 1990, 1991. And after that there's our information, and you'll notice that it has been sorted by financial year. Now that we have a functioning report, I'm going to use the next video to show you how to fine-tune the report so that the report contains the data that you want it to and it displays in the way that you want it to display. Thanks for watching. Now that you've learned how to lay out your report, you're ready to learn how to fine-tune your report.